St. Louis is a movie town. We've got everything from the huge megaplex theaters that cater to the blockbusters to the smaller houses where you'll find indie films. You'll find me at both. My name is Dawn Meadows Dixon, and I've been covering movies and working as a film critic for nearly 30 years. I've covered the Oscars on the red carpet, movie premieres, interviewed hundreds of stars, and seen thousands of films. And it's my job to bring a bit of Hollywood glitz and glamour to the Gateway City. Welcome to On the Screen. Hey everybody, I am Dawn Meadows Dixon, the host of On the Screen, and you may remember my next guest from The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. Well, now he's got a new film. It's called Mr. Holmes. Please welcome to the show, Sir Ian McKellen. Welcome.
Thank you very much indeed, Dawn. Nice to be there.
It's good to have you. You play an aged Sherlock Holmes in this film, and by the way, you play it absolutely beautifully. Oscar-worthy, I might say. Were you a fan of the Sherlock Holmes series?
There have been so many Sherlock Holmeses over the years, you know, the original stories. And then you got William Gillette, the American actor who brought Holmes to the stage and to silent movies. Then there have been TV versions and radio versions. So what's different about this one? Well, he's 93 years old. He's the oldest Sherlock Holmes there's been. And there's a further conceit that our Sherlock is the real man, that he was a real man, and that all the rest is fiction.
His name is Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Was that him?
My mother, she wonders if you have brought your famous hat.
The deer stalker. I've never worn one.
And a pipe?
I prefer a cigar.
What was it like to get into his skin? And what did you learn about yourself?
Well, whatever part you play, it isn't going to work unless you relate it to yourself. That's true. And I related to Sherlock Holmes by thinking of my own aches and pains. Not considerable, the occasional twinge, but imagining that that was permanent, and that would mean that I couldn't get out of the chair very easily, and that my voice would be a little bit weaker, and so it's just a little bit of exaggeration of the intimations of mortality that we all have. But I was greatly helped by the makeup, which was a fantastic. They used to paint this rubber solution on my face and pour it, and when it dried, my face would be even more wrinkled than it actually is. And then when I saw myself in the mirror and saw a 93-year-old man looking at me, then it was easy to transfer through my actor's DNA, as it were, my imagination, to other parts of my body, so that I walked old and I talked old.
What possible motive could that German woman have had to kill Anne? That night, I searched for something to jog my memory of the actual case. And there it was. A picture. You know, a few years ago, I could have told you everything about the woman in that photograph. Certainly, I'd recall what had become of her, whether she was victim or culprit. But that night, I couldn't remember any of it.
Did you learn anything about yourself, though, in your own aging process in playing this gentleman in his 90s?
No, I don't think I did. Nothing new. I based a lot of the decrepitude on my stepmother, who was 100 years old, so before she died. So it's from other people really than myself. Well, you know, I get to my age, death is in the air, and it's certainly in the air for Sherlock, and he's desperate to do something before he dies. So I suppose it got me thinking a little bit more, but on the whole, I was just trying to, as usual,
Yes.
Tell a good story and entertain people.
And it was a great story, and your performance just outstanding. You also work with bees in this film.
You ever been bitten?
Stung. Bees don't have teeth.
You ever been bit?
No, I have never been bit.
Were there any close calls? Because I understand you actually worked with bees before the film.
I said I wouldn't work with bees. I said to the director, Bill Condon, look, Laura Linney, a dream. All those other fantastic actors, wonderful, but not bees. I said you can put them in later, you know, with film technology, but no, I had to appear. So if you see me up close with bees, I'm there with them. But no, I kept out of their way. I understood them. I went to bee school and learned a bit about their behavior. They didn't sting me, and we didn't harm them. And I think the only animal that was harmed in this movie was a wasp. Just one.
Well, it's a good thing you weren't stung because, you know, just the idea of working with bees scares many people. Finally, I just want to ask you, you're an activist for gay rights, and we here in this country, the new Supreme Court ruling. What was your reaction to that? I think I spotted you in the parade in New York the day after.
Well, I've never been in a city that was so happy, so overtly happy, where smiles on everybody's faces, and there was celebration in the air, understandably. The Supreme Court ruling is crucial and important in the general move forward, but it was only really confirming what the nation as a whole had already decided, that they were at ease with the idea of gay people and wanted them to be treated equally. That is accepted by the majority of the population, not all the states quite yet, but once the Supreme Court said, well, you know, the Constitution is on the right side in this argument.
Well, I want to thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoyed the film.
Good.
You are one of the finest actors we have, and
Thank you very much.
I expect to see you at Oscar time with this film. It's just outstanding.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye. We've been speaking with Sir Ian McKellen, and we'll be back with more on the screen right after this.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
Welcome back to On the Screen. 2 more films opened this month. The first appealing to a more mature audience, Mr. Holmes, still another story about Sherlock Holmes. And the second, Woody Allen's Irrational Man. He's attempting a crossover to a younger audience, thanks in part to his star, Emma Stone. Here's my take on both.
You are very great detective.
Thank you very much.
彼はあの有名なお帽子を持参されましたか?
My mother, she wonders if you have brought your famous hat.
Oh, the dear stalker. That was an embellishment of the illustrator. I've never worn one.
And a pipe?
I prefer a cigar.
Mr. Holmes is the story of an aged Sherlock Holmes played by Sir Ian McKellen. At 93 years old, he struggles to remember a case from some 30 years earlier. All he recalls is that it concerned a beautiful woman and that he retired shortly thereafter, but he can't remember why. Holmes' powers for deduction are still sharp, but under attack by old age and dementia.
Sir. No, Roger's been a help to you. He's a good boy.
Good friend.
He's always been clever. His dad and I weren't the sort to know the things a boy like Roger takes interest in.
Exceptional children are often the product of unremarkable parents.
McKellen plays opposite Laura Linney, who is his housekeeper, and newcomer Milo Parker, who plays his son. Holmes and the boy develop a friendship and a bond over beekeeping. It's that bond that helps Holmes discover the mystery of his own past. Their chemistry together on screen is magical and authentic.
You're not going to die.
Oh, I'm 93.
I had a great uncle who lived to be 102.
Well, then that seals my fate. What are the odds that you would know 2 men who would live that long?
Well, I didn't actually know him.
The story is told in flashbacks, and it is in those flashbacks that we see the perfection in Sir Ian McKellen's portrayal of Mr. Holmes. The script unfolds with each clue, engaging the audience, but it's McKellen's performance that moves it forward. Definitely Oscar-worthy.
How's it coming?
Blocked. can't write.
Why?
I can't write because I can't breathe.
The latest from Woody Allen is Irrational Man, starring Joaquin Phoenix as a tormented philosophy professor who finds his will to live after committing an unthinkable act. It's a dark, often funny exploration of human behavior. It also stars Emma Stone as the student infatuated with the professor and his search for life's meaning.
I don't understand. You've been in such a touchy mood.
I'm fine. I just want to go to the concert.
Yeah, but the only reason I got the tickets is because you said you wanted to go.
Well, I'm sorry, Roy. I just had a change of heart. Go with a friend.
Yeah, I will, but I was looking forward to going with you.
Well, I'm not up to it, all right?
I think you're losing interest in me because of Abe Lucas.
Oh, God, Roy.
As in all of Woody Allen's films, we sense his own preoccupation with the meaning of life. In this film, he gives the voice to a philosopher. It seems these types of films are cathartic for him. He uses great storytelling to get us to think about our own lives. The acting is solid and the story well told. A philosophical thriller.
Love him or hate him as a person, Woody Allen still has it. That ability to draw us into his world, make us think, and entertain us. It's a combination that is legendary and not often achieved. Well worth your movie dollar. For On the Screen, I'm Dawn Meadows-Dixon.